99.9 Punk World Radio FM. We have Edmonton, Alberta, Canada's own. We got Darryl Saves Lives right here, live on the radio. Guys, how are you doing out there on the west coast of Edmonton?
We're doing good.
Doing good. Yeah. Can't complain.
And I got to say, ever since we got connected through Wham Productions, I have to say, I love your guys' music. I love what you guys are doing for the punk rock community, man. So I was definitely excited to get this one locked in and have you guys on the radio station tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much. And, thanks for having us too.
But I know you guys are busy individuals, so I don't want to take you away from the rest of your Sunday night too much. So I'll jump right into things. But I got to take you back to the beginning of this amazing band. I know there's 4 members in the group. One unfortunately can't be here tonight, but we'll definitely hold it down for him. But you 4 had the opportunity to meet in college and form this band. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a little bit more about that story. And of course, like, what actually made you 4 college students decide to make one of the biggest up and coming pop punk band there is out there in Edmonton?
We met at MacEwan University in Edmonton, and we were all part of the music program. I like to take credit with kind of curating everyone to join the band. We weren't exactly a pop punk band to start. Initially, there's another member who used to be in Darryl Saves Lives. His name was Brett. And I was like, yo, we should do an indie band. And I was like, cool. Then I talked to Nick. I'm like, yo, we should do like an alt rock band. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And then we're like, oh, we need a drummer. And we kind of knew David at the time. We didn't really know him too well. And I think Nick said to him that we were an indie folk band. And asked him to join. And then I cornered Neil at Along McQuaid once we had everyone else in the band. And I was very serious about it, probably too serious. I was like, hey, we're doing this like math rock band. Would you join? And he's like, yeah. So it was kind of like, I feel like I kind of lied to everyone to get them to join this band. But here we are now.
And also as well, because you guys have a very unique name, Darryl Saves Lives. I got to ask, man, like, how did you guys actually acquire that band name? Like, I feel like there's a really unique story behind this. I feel like someone in the band or someone that definitely saved some lives.
I'll take that question. We were just in Cole's basement one day, and this was like around the time when we got everybody together, and we were trying to figure out what to call ourselves, what band name we should be. And we were just brainstorming names. Nothing was coming up. And David was just scrolling Instagram, and there's this clip of like The Office that came on, and that's how we got the name. Was I don't know if you've seen The Office, like.
I have, yeah. I've seen I like the American version a lot more than the British version.
That's where we got it from. It was the clip where the Japanese guys was saying how Darryl from The Office like saved his life when he came across to America. And then he said Darryl Saves Lives, and we're like, oh, that's a cool band name. We'll just use that.
If only those individual, I'm pretty sure they know now, but if only they would have known when they were making the show just how many individuals they would have inspired just by that show. Because I see a lot of Office references, even still to this day in 2025. If only they knew in that moment what they were creating, man. They were creating some magic.
Yeah.
100%.
And January 18th, 2019, you guys actually released a single called Wears Me Out. What is the story behind this earlier released song in your band's history? Like, can you tell us the story and inspiration behind it?
Oh, yeah, that song's I was the one that wrote the lyrics for that one, and it's kind of like a take on like part of my life that I was like really anxious about, and it's just like you're so worn out you can't breathe. Yeah, so kind of use songwriting as a therapeutic thing to get that out there.
And I gotta say, that song actually, I really enjoy that song. I've been playing it here on the radio station, and a lot of people have actually been really enjoying it, man. They've been literally requesting more of it. So nice. It's definitely not going to get worn out here on Punk World Radio FM. I'll tell you that.
Awesome, glad to hear.
But also, January 31st, 2025, you guys actually released another amazing single, which is your most recent single, titled Tomato Basil. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about your most recent single.
Yeah, I wrote that one, and that was about my girlfriend's cat, who I actually have a photo here, Tomato. When my girlfriend and I moved in together, we couldn't have a cat with us, so he just stayed with her dad, and I felt really bad about taking her away from the cat. So I decided to write a song from his perspective about why she's not coming back to her place very often. And that's kind of how the song formed. Instrumentally, though, that was like one of the first songs that we kind of all wrote as a band. David came up with a drum groove for it. He sent it to me, and then we all really worked together to build that song.
And also, as we spoke about in 2019, we talked about "Wears Me Out," and then of course your most recent single. So we jumped ahead a little bit, but I have to ask, from 2019 to 2025, how do you feel that your guys' music has actually changed throughout those 6 years? Do you think how do you feel about your band's improvement?
I think we've finally actually like kind of narrowed down a genre. Because like when we first started, Cole kind of lied to all of us. He was like, "Hey Nick, we're doing a folk thing," and then he went to Neil. He's like, "We're doing a math rock thing," and we all had different inspirations coming into this band. Like I was like sort of like a prog guy, and then like Cole was into like more classical stuff, and then Nick was the only one that was actually into emo. And so that "Wears Me Out" is just like a big culmination of all of those genres put together. And then as we started progressing forward, we're like, okay, maybe like emo music is kind of where we're really agreeing with what we want to do, because getting there we were always kind of arguing about what we were making and what our genres were, but we finally narrowed it down with these releases.
And also, speaking of releases, you guys have released a killer song one after another, just dropping absolute great pop punk. Do you guys actually think in the future you might actually steer away from the singles and actually do an EP or an album release, or you just want to stick with the singles for a little while longer?
Ooh. Yeah. Well, yeah, Cole, you want to take this one?
I can take this. Well, yeah. We have this is some exclusive information here. We have 2 more singles coming out. We have one in May, I believe May 13th, and then one in June. And then we actually have an EP coming out on August 12th. Yeah. With 6 songs on it.
So I guess we're dropping it here first. EP's coming
out. You heard it here first.
And I know obviously you guys are giving the exclusive. I appreciate that for dropping that here on Punk World Radio FM tonight. But for your fans out there that are watching, whether they watch this interview live or they listen to it, a few months from now, if you don't mind me asking, without letting too many cats out of the bag, what can they expect from this EP coming out in August? Like, is it going to be the same Darryl Saves Lives vibe, or is it going to be something a little different for the fans this time around?
Well, we've definitely played all these songs live before, so people have heard them before, so they kind of know what they're getting into with this new EP. But with the mixing, because we're getting the person we're working with now, he's just really taken us to the next level. So I think these recordings are going to be a huge difference from what we've released in 2019.
I think.
And I got to say, my apologies, Cole. Go ahead. My apologies.
I was just going to say, I think musically as well, this is like the most not uniform, but I guess unified we're sounding as a band. Cohesive is probably the best word. The most cohesive we're sounding. Even though there's some songs like comparing Annoy You to Tomato Basil, there's a fair amount of difference. I think once you hear the whole piece in context, the 6 songs that we have, they all kind of like relate to each other in a nice way, and they really flow super well to each other. I think we still experiment a little bit with genres. Like we still try, like the newest single we have coming out called Luna is more pop punk, I'd say, adjacent, more power pop compared to Tomato Basil, which is a little bit heavier. But when you hear them all in the context, they really work out maybe a little bit better than some of the stuff that we had in like 2019 or 2020 that we were releasing.
Mm-hmm. And I got to say, I'm definitely looking forward to hearing it and hopefully getting my hands on a copy if you guys do indeed at some point do any hard copies.
100%.
Yeah.
And also, Saturday, July 5th, you guys will be taking the stage in Edmonton, Alberta, as you will be opening up for Mest on their Canadian tour, presented by Wham Productions. What can your fans expect from the Darryl Saves Lives performance come July 5th? And of course, how can they snag themselves some tickets today?
Yeah, tickets are online. I think they're on Ticketmaster. But we got some surprises in our set. Do you mind if I share, you guys, Cole, David?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we actually have like 2 new songs we're working on, and we're thinking about performing them there exclusively for the first time. So, yeah, never before heard or seen songs. Yeah.
And hopefully you guys actually get the opportunity to actually, just to chop it up with Mest. I got to say, Tony is actually one hell of a cool dude. So
Nice.
I'm pretty sure he'll definitely be listening to your guys' set for sure.
Sweet. Yeah, we're excited to meet him and, play and like share the stage together. It's going to be a good time.
And also, aside from this phenomenal EP, the new single you actually dropped, Tomato Basil, and of course this show coming up July 5th, like what else is next for Darryl Saves Lives? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this evening's interview that you guys still want to touch on, talk about, or promote? We still got you here live on 99.9 FM here tonight.
We will be, it hasn't been announced officially yet, but we'll be touring Western Canada. In middle of August, we'll be playing in Regina, Saskatoon, Calgary, and Edmonton. And yeah, the EP will be coming out then. It's about the week before the tour starts, so everyone can learn the songs before the shows.
Yeah.
And first and foremost, before we actually part ways tonight, obviously I know how to follow you guys on social media, but for the individuals that might just be discovering Darryl Saves Lives here tonight, how do we go about following you 4 across all social media platforms if we're not already doing so?
Yeah, so you can find our Instagram handle on as DSL the band, and then my personal one as a drummer is Big Butter Jesus. I don't know if anyone else wants to share their Instagram handles, but I'll plug mine in.
That right there is actually a badass IG handle. I love it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Did that one for years, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's an ongoing joke.
Yeah, you can find me at NCLAI19 on Instagram.
And you can find me at COLJI Music on Instagram and YouTube.
But Cole, Nick, David, thank you so much for giving not only myself, but the radio station airways a bit of your time. It was an honor speaking with you 3. Definitely looking forward to doing this again in the future when the EP drops. But for now, guys, have yourself a phenomenal Sunday night, and I know you're going to tear the stage up come July.
Awesome. Thanks, man. And thank you so much for having us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
You're most certainly welcome, guys. Have yourselves a phenomenal night out there on the West Coast.
Yeah, you too.
You too, man.